Hey guys, this is Wayne D. Kramer, author of the Heroes of Time series. Coming at you with a little bit of an update of the products that we have now that the sequel to Heroes of Time Legends Murdoch's Choice has come out, which is called Murdoch's Shadow. It's time to give you a little tour here, a little bit of an explanation about what we've got available. So first of all, right here, Heroes of Time Legends, Murdoch's Choice. This is where the adventure begins, starring Captain Zale the Gale Murdoch and his misfit crew of Murdoch's mates. If he chooses to find the legendary Grimstone and succeeds, the entire kingdom could be at risk. If he fails or does not choose to find the Grimstone, everyone he cares about is at risk. So Murdoch must make his choice. Definitely not an easy choice to make. So here we have the paperback. And then here we have the hardcover. These are a matte finish, so it's a kind of a soft touch. I've gone back and forth about using this or the gloss type because sometimes the colors pop a little bit more on the gloss, but I have to say it has a little bit more of a classy feel using the matte finish, so we're going with that. The hardcover here has the jacket. You can take that off and you still have the full color print on the cover itself. And then you have the Grand Trilia continent map. Then we have maps and diagrams of the ship, the Queenie. If they don't come through super well on the video, I apologize, but you obviously will see them a lot better if you buy the book. And then we run to the back matter. The latest version of Murdoch's Choice will include a preview of Murdoch's Shadow. We have a crew log, and I've talked about before how the crew log is super cool and super special because this is actually made out of handwritten words. Not my handwriting. These are the handwritten words of the late Daniel Skip Person, who is the real life individual from my life and from my family's lives and friends, who inspired and who the character Captain Zale the Gale Murdoch is modeled after. This man was larger than life. This is a great friend, a colleague, and family member of mine, and we worked together for many years. We traveled together for many years. Ever since I had started this series, I wanted a character based on him because of the unique personality and his skipisms, we would call it. The unique phrases he would have and the nicknames for people and just the charming way that he had with a lot of people all deserved to be encapsulated into a character. And so that became Captain Zale the Gale Murdoch, a character that he helped to name and kind of create the theme around. It was actually Skip's idea to make him into a sea captain, and all of that, those brainstorming sessions and some of the original outlines for his character started before Skip passed away, and it was later that year that he unfortunately did of a really bad lung disease. But his character now lives on. Okay, so further back matter in Murdoch's Choice again, so we have the crew log written in Skip's handwriting. So these words, these letters, we developed an inventory of them based on old work notes and notes from his old Bible. So that's really special to me that we have that. We have a couple of calendars in here following the timeline of the novel. So here we have the months of Jovador and August. Then we have the about the author. So that's the hardcover for Murdoch's Choice. Soft cover or paperback for Murdoch's Choice, same front and back matter, but the hardcover obviously gives you the stronger, nicer cover. We have the audiobook. If you buy from Amazon, you will actually get a different version of the audiobook, and I want to show you that. So this here is the audio CD set. It's pretty unusual actually for an indie author to have an audio CD set on Amazon, but I did, and this is actually distributed through Blackstone Media. This one is your standard CDs with the shiny surface. They're just kind of stacked in there. This is kind of a budget set. Any of these that I sell live, we usually give a little bit of a better price on because it's just a pretty standard set. I mean, it does have the nice cover art and the info on the back. It's a fairly mass market set. That is only that is available on Amazon. It is on my website also. This one is a mass market MP3 disc, also distributed by the publisher Blackstone. I've seen these orange cases before in bookstores. Unfortunately, right now, there's not a lot of bookstores carrying CDs anymore or MP3 discs, but any that do, we're trying to get the word out there and trying to get more exposure into bookstores, especially the print books. So again, your standard shiny disc single disc. The whole thing fits on one disc when it's an MP3, so that works on MP3 players. This version, I don't keep this in stock. You only see this one on Amazon. If you go to my website, heroesoftime.com, you will see additional options. So here is my version of the MP3 disc. It's the whole audiobook on a single MP3 disc, except that the MP3 disc is a full color character MP3 disc. It's a little bit more of a special version, and I think it actually is cheaper on my website. Don't tell Amazon I said that. And then finally, if you got the full audiobook CD set from my website, you have the option of getting the deluxe CD set. That is this guy, right? So we have a full set here with character art on the back. And this one has all 7 CDs plus the MP3 disc, so it's an 8 CD set total. So you have the audio, the standard audio CD. In this mass market version, they're kind of chopped up every such and such interval, which doesn't necessarily cleanly end at a chapter. This one is more cleanly cut chapter by chapter. So these are your standard audio CDs with the full character art. So we have Zale, we have Starlina, we have Jensen, we have Thump, which is based on a friend of mine as well. We have Boomer, Seadread, Fulgur, and then we have Boomer and Zale here on the MP3 disc. And then we have Murdoch's Shadow. So here's the new thing really to show you. And this is a lot of book, to be honest with you. Compare the two thickness wise, right? Choice, Shadow. Murdoch's Shadow is a little bit more than twice the length of Murdoch's Choice. It's just chock full of content. And you see the cover there. We can put the actual cover image on the screen so you'll see maybe in more detail. But the adventure continues here in Murdoch's Shadow, and it definitely gets quite epic. So showing you some of the differences here, some of the additional things. So again, we have Grand Trelia. This one was updated since Murdoch's Choice a bit to show some of the additional nations in the Great Crescent by name, to actually name them out. And then we have the Great Crescent here, a little bit more labeling going on. Updated a bit, and then we zoom in and we get more detail. So this is a section, this is kind of the mid-section of the Grand Trelia continent, right? So we go back to Grand Trelia. You see this area called Brum Rockney. This corridor right here, that's this. Okay, so we get more detail about this section because a lot of the story happens in this area, in and about it. Now, there's a little bit more labeled here than what's in the story, but that's because maps can be fun and they can have more stuff and there can be extra info. It doesn't necessarily have to make it into the text. Again, we have the Queenie, the ship. We'll shift over to the back matter. We again have the crew log, which is a little bit updated from Murdoch's Choice. Shows some of the changes that happened. The last page of the novel is actually over here, and maybe I should change that so that we have a blank page instead of that being next to each other. But this is the crew log. Here we have the time and seasons of Elioran. There's a layout here of the months. Really cool clock we had made here. The 28-hour clock, which is very interesting because Elioran has a longer year, longer months, different number of days. So it's 425 days, and they are 28-hour days as opposed to the 365 days and 24-hour days that we have here on Earth. That means if you see a 16-year-old, it's like a 16-year-old as we would see a 16-year-old. Like they pretty much look and behave like a 16-year-old on Earth. However, if you were to take the years and convert it, it calculates differently, and the person is actually older than you might think. So here we have an age in Elioran compared to Earth section that talks about this. And I felt like this was a good thing to clarify because, you know, Starlina, for instance, she seems very young in Murdoch's Choice and Shadow, and she is young. I mean, she's a teenager, but she's a teenager in Elioran. And in terms of actual age, compared to us on Earth, she is older than what you might have thought. Starlina is 16 in these stories. Well, on Earth, that's 22. The categories here in Elioran of ages is different. You have childhood from 0 to 9, adolescent 10 to 14, young adult 15 to 19, so Starlina is considered a young adult. prime adult from 20 to 59, and elder adult from 60 plus. So keep that in mind. She's not necessarily as young as you think. Again, we have the months, we have the calendars for the months that are involved in the story. August, Slependor, and Octocolori. That's Heroes of Time Legends Murdoch's Shadow, available on hardcover and paperback. Look guys, I know the price is a little bit more on Murdoch's Shadow than it was on Murdoch's Choice, but maybe now you see why, right? Because it's a lot thicker, it's a bigger book, there's a lot more story, and that makes it cost more to print. So sorry, but that happens. We'll certainly try to run some specials and giveaways and things here off and on. We like to do that once in a while. The store has other things as well at shop.heroesoftime.com, such as bookmarks. We have a new set of Murdoch's Shadow bookmarks. There's character art prints over there, and we will continue to do some other cool stuff. But for now, that is it. The tour through all the books and options available for Murdoch's Shadow and Murdoch's Choice. So again, check those out at Amazon or other online retailers like Barnes & Noble or Walmart or wherever you like to go. Or, of course, my own website, heroesoftime.com or shop.heroesoftime.com, and you will find all the good stuff there. Signed versions are available from my website. If you want it signed, you have to go to shop.heroesoftime.com and get it there. Okay, so that's the tour through these books. Audiobook, of course, is available not only in the CD and physical form, but also at Audible and wherever you buy your audiobooks. Chirp, Kobo, Nook, wherever. It's pretty much on all the platforms. All right, guys. Well, thank you very much. If you made it through this point, thanks for checking out my catalog so far, and I hope to see you at more live events coming up, and I hope to continue to put out more of these great stories for you guys. Definitely working on the third one now and getting all the details together and the world building together and many things sorted out so that this third book, rounding out the Murdoch trilogy, will be as awesome and epic as possible. All right, guys, thanks so much for everything. Thanks for your support, as always, and may the winds fare you well.